What's up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me right here at my YouTube channel. This is where I talk about the geeky, nerdy stuff that I love to talk about: movies, video games, comic books, TV shows. And right now, I'd like to give you guys my review of The Mandalorian Season 2, Episode 6. And once again, Jon Favreau and company did not disappoint. This was another great episode of The Mandalorian. Now, I was concerned going into this episode because this episode was directed by Robert Rodriguez. And I'm very familiar with Robert Rodriguez's movies, from the horror that he's done, to the action that he's done, to the kids' fare that he's done. And I wasn't sure if the stylistic sensibilities of Robert Rodriguez would mesh well with Star Wars. Well, I'm happy to say that it meshed great. In fact, while you could definitely see some DNA of Robert Rodriguez's, like I said, stylistic sensibilities, it still felt and looked just like Star Wars. Even more so than some of the recent movies that have come out. This felt and looked like classic Star Wars that we know and love. Now, let's talk about the plot. Mando gets the child to the Jedi Temple that Ahsoka led him to at the beginning of the episode. So I thought initially we're going to get an episode that is going to have Ezra or Ghost Yoda or Cal or somebody else is going to be the guest star of the week, and it's going to be a Jedi. And that's going to be the way this episode goes. But it took a completely different turn, and what we got was phenomenal. Now, by the way, there's spoilers in this, so beware. Now, I've always been the person who has said, I don't need a Boba Fett movie. Boba Fett was a very minor character. Boba Fett went out like a punk. I don't know why people are so impressed with the character. That was me. I always said that. And I always said, we don't need a Boba Fett character. He should stay dead in the Sarlacc. But here we are. Boba Fett is back, played by Tamira Morrison, who also played Jango, also played the clones. And I'm so happy. I'm so happy that Boba Fett is back. He brought a certain level of bravado, honor, and complete and total butt-kickingness that you don't often see in Star Wars. I can't tell you, outside of Danny Yen's character in Rogue One, outside of that, you don't really see a lot of the stormtroopers get manhandled like Boba Fett manhandled them in this episode, crushing their mask, their helmets, beating them with a rod, showing off his not just his gunplay proficiency, but showing off his hand-to-hand combat proficiency. Boba Fett is truly a master. And it was great to see that in play in this episode, because in the original series, we didn't really see that. We saw him be cunning in how he was able to trap Han Solo and Princess Leia, but we didn't see his combat skills. In fact, when it was time for his combat skills, he was dispatched rather easily by accident by Han Solo. So I was never really enamored with Boba Fett. I get that there was a lot of Star Wars Legends material, the former expanded universe, that really played up that aspect of Boba Fett, but I always found the Legends, and this is where I'm going to get a lot of people to unsubscribe, but I've got to be honest, I've always found the Legends to be to read like very fan fiction stuff. I honestly find most of the Legends stuff to be bad. I don't think most of it's good at all. That being said, there are two pieces of the Legends that I love. The Thrawn trilogy, I got the other two books over there, I'm not going to get up and get them, but the Thrawn trilogy, including Heir of the Empire, phenomenal, and I really like this one, The Courtship of Princess Leia. Other than those really 4 books, I always found the Legend stuff to be inconsistent, to be kind of a fan fiction dream of what they want the sequels to be, and quite frankly, they weren't very good. I found them to read very poorly. So I was never really that enamored by the Legend stuff, and I was actually relieved when Disney got rid of them and made them non-canon. Just my take on it. I know that a lot of people live and die by the Legend stuff. Not me. So I never loved Boba Fett. But I'm probably, I don't love him now either. But I'm open to a relationship with him. I'm open to getting involved with Boba Fett now because it was such a good episode, and the way that he, we know him from the original trilogy as being villainous. Well, he was villainous because he was being paid to be villainous. We know him from being a bad guy. It was nice to see that he has a code of honor that brought about that brought an alliance between him and the Mandalorian. Now they have stuff in common. But it was very nice to see that there was a certain kinship there, and they didn't have to be bad. They didn't have to be enemies. They could, in fact, work together. This episode ends with the tragedy. There's, in fact, 2 tragedies. Tragedy number 1 is the Razor Crest being destroyed, and tragedy number 2 is Baby Yoda being kidnapped by the Dark Troopers. This is going to lead to, I'm sure that Din is going to rally the troops, including Boba Fett, including Cara Dune. He's going to rally the troops, and they're going to go get Baby Yoda. And I cannot wait for that to happen. I can't wait to see the Dark Troopers in action, and I cannot wait to see some great, entertaining conflicts with the remnants of the Empire here at the end of the season. At least that's what I hope we're going to get. But this definitely, while it was a short episode, it was only like 28 minutes long, I thought it did a great job of setting up the final act of this season by putting Baby Yoda in real danger and backing our heroes against a wall to where they have to make a move to go face their greatest threats. It had everything I wanted, and if what Boba Fett said was true, we're going to see more of Boba Fett this season. Probably episode 7 and episode 8. And that is cool also. So I really like this episode. I don't know that it was my favorite episode of the season, but at this point it's getting hard to distinguish between which one is my favorite and which one isn't because they've all been so great. So that's my take on episode 6 of The Mandalorian Season 2, titled The Tragedy. What did you think of this episode? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your take on it. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel. And as always, thank you so much for joining me right here at the OQ Review, where we get to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that we love to talk about. Until next time, we'll see you guys later.